What is up, BB gang? What's up, man? This your boy Corn, aka Black Boy, aka I don't give what you call me because I'm just that guy. You feel me? So listen, today's video, bro. I really need to tell y'all something. Like this is serious. This video is about a guy dying because he was so called supposed to have sex with the girl. Trying to find she played him. And what y'all really need to know, bro. Y'all need to be careful who y'all be talking to when it comes to this, cause this ain't no joke, bro. Like people is dying over crazy stuff like that, but I ain't finna talk about all that. But let's get to the video. Make sure y'all like, comment, hit that sub, turn on post notifications, bro. Let's just get into the video, man.
When Jarrell Pryor agreed to meet a woman he connected with online, he thought it was just a first date. He had no idea it would be his last night alive. Jarrell was a proud father, a girl dad. Now that little girl has to face a world without him. No more bedtime stories, no father-daughter dances, and one day, no dad waiting at the end of the aisle to walk her into a new chapter of life. What started as a simple night out allegedly ended in a deadly setup. Indianapolis police say Jarrell was ambushed, allegedly lured into a trap by the very woman he hoped to be working with her boyfriend. An alleged plan to rob Jarrell turned violent and ended in murder. I'm Kennedy Walker, and I'll walk you through the chilling final moments of Jarrell Pryor's life and the twisted betrayal that left a community searching for justice. For this story, we take you to Indianapolis, Indiana, January 2025. According to court documents obtained by Law and Crime, Jarrell Pryor's murder began with a text and ended with an alleged deadly setup. Just hours before he was killed, police say Jarrell messaged a young woman he'd met online, 19-year-old Alexis Hawkins. The message was just 3 words: when available, and agreed to go on a date. But here's where the story takes a dark turn. While she was allegedly texting Jarrell, Hawkins was reportedly messaging someone else on Instagram, her boyfriend, 18-year-old Brian Winston Jr. Investigators say Hawkins was working out the details of her date with Pryor while secretly coordinating with Winston behind the scenes. Jarrell had no idea, no clue that Hawkins was in a relationship or that anything could go wrong. It was just a date, and maybe, if things went well, a chance to meet up again. But police say it was never about the date, it was a trap.
Listen, bro. It's always you Gen Z females. I know I'm part of Gen Z too, but this ain't about me. But it's always you Gen Z female. Listen, I'm glad I'm actually in a relationship with a woman. Not a girl, a woman. Cause she would never set me up. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad I only talk to one girl. Cause I refuse to sit here and try to make plans just to try to talk to another one just to, you know, just to go on the date. I mean, I kind of understand where he come. Well, I guess I got to get deeper to the video because I got to listen to what they were saying. Because for him to already have a child and she got a boyfriend, but he didn't know, so I really can't. So it's really not his fault, but because I don't know, we just got to see, bro. Cause I'm just like, bro, what the world going on? You feel me?
That night, Jarrell met Hawkins in person. They sat together in his car, and shortly before 1 a.m., Hawkins' boyfriend allegedly appeared and opened fire. Jarrell Pryor, just 26 years old, was shot and killed. A young father, now gone. His daughter, just 2 years old, left behind. As police began their investigation, they discovered the messages between Pryor and Hawkins. They then obtained a warrant to search Hawkins's Instagram.
Okay, I'm sorry to pause it again, but I don't know if I heard it right. Bro was 26 and she was 19. Being she legal in the state of Georgia. I mean, she legal. But that still don't get her no right to set that boy up and kill him like that. But dang, he 26 and she 19. Oh man.
Instagram account, and what they allegedly found raised even more red flags. Investigators say she searched phrases like news today near me, and shootings Keystone, all on the day of the murder. Police also discovered that Hawkins had allegedly messaged several people asking for a ride near the location of the shooting around the time Jarrell was killed. When detectives questioned Hawkins the following week, she allegedly claimed she couldn't remember much about that night. She reportedly insisted she didn't have have a weapon and told police, "No weapon to say I did anything. My fingerprints aren't on anything." When asked if her prints might be found inside of Jarrell's car, Hawkins reportedly replied, "It's not going to be on no weapon, though." But the moment investigators asked about a message she sent saying she was going to make a, quote, play, Hawkins allegedly stopped talking and asked for a lawyer. She was arrested shortly after and charged with murder and robbery resulting in serious bodily injury. Winston was charged as well with murder, felony murder, and robbery. Now, Jarrell's family is left to pick up the pieces. His parents, once looking forward to watching their son become the man and father he aspired to be, are now raising the little girl he left behind. His mother, Tamika Wiley, told WXIN, "I'm broken inside." And just weeks ago, Jarrell's parents celebrated their granddaughter's 3rd birthday, a milestone that should have been filled with joy, laughter, and her father's love. Instead, it was a day marked by absence. No Jarrell, no hugs from dad, just a little girl too young to understand why her dad never came home. Justice may come in a courtroom, but this family, the real sentence is living without Jarrell. And joining me to talk more about this is legal expert Andy Baldwin. Andy, thank you so much for joining me today. Let's just jump right in. How does a case like this typically move through the Indiana legal system once charges are filed?
Well, the first thing that's going to happen is these 2 defendants are going to have to get lawyers. And so there's going to be an initial hearing very quickly, and the judge is going to find out, what are you guys doing about lawyers? And then the real work begins. And because in a case like this, I think you really need to get some quick action with your lawyers and figuring out what you're going to do. A lot of times in my world, you have some time to kind of dig into the facts, dig into the evidence, and see exactly what the state has. But in a case like this, when you have 2 people that are co-defendants, you may need to go to the prosecutor to get that deal first if you are in fact guilty.
And what are the first steps that prosecutors take after an arrest in a homicide case? What do you think they're doing right now behind the scenes?
Oh, prosecutors, once the charge is filed, they really just depend on their detectives and their investigators to take the lead role in terms of gathering evidence. And they'll be communicating, the prosecutor will be communicating with the detectives and saying, hey, maybe I want you to go get a geo-tracking off of one of the cell phones to make sure where they are, things like that. But these are, one of the detectives on this case is pretty well known throughout Indianapolis as a very good homicide detective, and he's probably doing a good job on his own of figuring out what needs to be done.
And can you walk us through just how police...
Okay, so I just want to say something real quick. Like, if I'm technically his age, but just a year younger than him, but I'm 25. But if I was his age, first of all, I just wouldn't find a 19-year-old attractive. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like 6 years. Well, for me, it's 6 years, but for him, it's 7. But she's still legal. But I look at it as like she fresh out of high school. I'm like a grown man finna be close to my 30s. Like I can't find no 19-year-old attractive. That would make me went left real quick. I would have just started talking to her. But I can't judge everybody for what they do. But that's just sad, bro. The daughter got to live the rest of her life not with her father, and her father's dead because he wanted to talk to the 19-year-old because she set him up and the boyfriend killed her, bro.
Police build a case using digital communications like texts and DMs via social media? Because I know that was crucial in this case, according to court documents.
Yeah, it's usually bad news for defense lawyers nowadays because it's the phone that you carry around can tracking information. So if they want to know where you were at certain times, they can locate that. So that's a problem. Texting is a real problem because it gives a context of what might have been going on. So in this case, I can tell you what the detectives very quickly sent letters to Google and to Meta saying, preserve the evidence. We need the evidence preserved. But on top of that, while they're preserving that evidence, they're getting search warrants for the phone. So Alexis, who's one of the defendants, they have her phone. Brian Winston, the other defendant, he tried to break his phone, according to the probable cause affidavit, at least. And whether he was successful or not, we don't know yet. But they're going to get search warrant for those phones, so they do everything right. And then they're going to start going and digging through the Instagram and Snapchat and all the other things, direct messages from Facebook, and see if they can tell the story. If the investigation can point toward one or both of them more definitively than currently.
Now, both suspects, they were charged with murder, and I think Brian was the one that was charged with felony murder. What's the legal difference between murder and Indiana law?
Yeah, so actually, it looks like it's Alexis that's charged with the felony murder. It looks like what they're trying to say is that Alexis was in a car with the deceased Jarrell Pryor. And I think from reading it's a 12-page probable cause affidavit, and what they're kind of saying is Alexis took Jarrell on a date, or he took her on a date, but she was cluing Mr. Winston, her actual boyfriend, in on where they were going to be and so forth, and that Mr. Winston then at some point in time came in, knowing where they were, killed Mr. Pryor. And so Alexis is charged with felony murder. And felony murder is, hey, I did not.
So basically, to shorten it up, she said, bro, basically that's what he's saying.
Actually do the shooting, but I knew what was going on, and there was going to be a robbery. And I was a participant in the robbery, which is a felony. And when somebody gets killed during the commission of a felony, then you can be charged with felony murder, even though you had nothing to do with the shooting.
Could this be considered even a conspiracy to commit murder, even if only one person fired the gun?
It definitely could be. And I think they may have to amend their charging information later on. But conspiracy means you actually have to prove the murder. Felony murder is such a problem for defense lawyers, because a lot of times what happens is nobody was intending to be killed. The two participants, if Alexis and Brian, the two defendants, were actually just trying to rob the person, then in reality, they weren't committing murder. They were just committing robbery. And that's why the felony murder matters. A conspiracy to commit murder would mean that you would have to show that they actually intended to kill this young man.
Yeah, I know we just talked about the charges could be upgraded to that, but is there any way that anyone could take some type of plea or even going to manslaughter, or is that just not possible with a case as strong as this one?
Oh, anything's possible. And I don't know how strong the case is at this point. I mean, I've read through the probable cause affidavit, and thinking like a defense lawyer does, I see that both of them have arguments that they can make. And that's why I think whoever gets to the prosecutor first, may get the better plea offer. However, you have to start with the presumption of innocence. Of course, I'm a defense lawyer, so this is what I do. And I start with the presumption of innocence. And I would be asking, if I had either Alexis or Brian, I'd be asking them maybe sooner rather than I normally would in a case, hey, it's time to kind of tell me what might have happened. Because if you have any involvement at all, I need to go to the prosecutor and cut this deal before the other side gets to the prosecutor. So, yeah, a plea agreement could be on the table for sure.
And can you walk us through just what that looks like, since, you do have a lot of experience with that? What could both sides be arguing when they go to the prosecution when they're trying to get a deal?
Yeah, the way I would argue it is that we'll take Alexis, for example. Alexis, when you read the probable cause affidavit, she denies having any involvement in the shooting, but affidavit paperwork, she does admit that she was there when the shooting happened, and that she was scared and that she ran away. And so it could be that she points the finger at Brian Winston, her boyfriend, and says, he's a jealous guy. He showed up, and I had no idea what was going to happen, and he shot and killed this guy because he's a jealous guy. Brian and I, my boyfriend, we were fighting earlier in the day, so I went out with a different guy and my jealous boyfriend. And so when you go to the prosecutor, you say, this is what my client's going to say if we go to trial. And she's willing to come forward and incriminate Mr. Winston, but she wants, you start with swinging for the fences. She wants all charges dismissed. Now, Mr. Winston, on the other hand, reading through the probable cause affidavit, I don't see that there's not a whole lot of evidence direct evidence that links him to the crime. So if I were him, I'd be saying, I'd say, I have no idea what happened here. Alexis, my girlfriend, she leads kind of a wild life. I mean, when you read the probable cause affidavit, Kennedy, you see that Alexis's mom kicked her out of the house because Alexis was hanging out with pimps, and that's her mom's words, and other.
Damn, that girl was hanging around with pimps, bro. Bro, that girl had a goddamn wild 19-year-old life, hanging around with pimps. Now, I believe she deserved. Well, I ain't gonna say that because I feel like that's messed up. I could. Nah, my I finna say that she deserved the death penalty, but I ain't gonna say that, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's still
kind of ne'er-do-wells. And so if I'm Brian Winston's, this is hanging out with these kind of, this wild crowd, and anybody could have killed her. And so, I don't really know what you want me. My involvement is nothing. So there's nothing I can do. Now, I don't know that Brian's going to be able to say ever, like, I knew what happened with Alexis, because then it would implicate himself, unless he's going to say that Alexis told me what happened. But Kennedy, when you read the probable cause affidavit, you're going to see that at this, whatever happened about 1 a.m, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
And about 5:30, a few hours later, when Alexis and Brian, her boyfriend, are communicating on by text, and they're saying, "I love you, I'm sorry." But they don't talk anything about shooting or a shooting or a killing or anything like that. So it just seems like a boyfriend and a girlfriend that were in a fight. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this case where a defense lawyer can make some hay.
Yeah, just so many moving parts. But do you think, and this is all speculation at this point, obviously, but do you think that Alexis would truly have an argument like the one you suggested, given the fact that they have her, alleged Instagram messages where she's planning everything with the boyfriend?
It's a little unclear, honestly. When you read it, you can interpret things the way that you want. And by the way, I mean, just because she looks like she's wanting to rob somebody doesn't mean it was with it. In the probable cause affidavit, here it is. There, what I would say a really bad text out.
Listen, I'm just gonna give my honest opinion, bro. When he was saying like when they they probably was arguing, probably was probably had a fight or something going on, but just because somebody had a fight going on and they probably got mad at each other don't necessarily means that they give you the right to shoot somebody. Like, in my opinion, I'm just gonna be honest, bro. I don't care what somebody test spread. They may not be talking about shooting, killing, but in order for him to know what she was, it's either two options, bro. Now, they got this app called Life 360. That's one. He probably checked the location. Or number two, she probably set my boy up and the boyfriend pulled up and killed him. Know what I'm saying? Like, cause I'm just saying it's two different ways. I'm not saying either or may be right, but I know that one of those options is probably right, because, like, in my opinion, something tell me she just probably set bro up. I'm just gonna keep the book. But so y'all might agree with me, y'all might not agree with me, but I just feel like she set bro up, bro. Like, come on, man.
About hitting a lick, or the phrase "hitting a lick" is street slang for I'm going to rob somebody and take some of their stuff. And she talks about hitting a lick, and that's pretty bad. But it doesn't mean that it was with Brian Winston. I mean, if she's hanging out with lots of bad people, she could have been hitting a lick with anybody. And so there's another wrinkle on this case as well. And I don't see Brian and Alexis being boyfriend and girlfriend too much longer. I will tell you that much. I mean, here shortly, and they'd probably be wise to do that unless they are absolutely not guilty. But there seems to be too much evidence to support that theory.
Right. I'd be surprised if they're still boyfriend and girlfriend, given the fact that they're both sitting in jail.
Goddamn right. Like
that's
I'd be surprised
pretty hard to maintain a relationship while that's going on. But
you would be surprised.
Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. Anything is possible. Well, both suspects were charged with robbery resulting in serious bodily injury. Can you explain what that means in this context?
Yeah, it's not very complicated. It is
So I was really scrolling through this whole entire video for the rest of the minutes we have on here. I'm just gonna stop here because I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm just gonna be. I'm pretty sure they probably just go talk about the laws and all types of junk. So I'm gonna just end it right here, man. But listen, bro, y'all really need to be careful and stop putting y'all trust into these women, bro. And hey, this goes for you women too. Stop putting y'all trust into these man, bro. Like y'all don't understand like all these dating apps and Facebook dating or something like that. Stop trusting these. I don't know if they met on dating app or not. I think he said in the beginning, but I just wouldn't text nobody. I mean, it gotta depend, bro. Like, cause it's messed up that he died for some bull crap, bro. Like, you could just like the dude, like her boyfriend ain't got some anger temper. Instead of you just seeing what's going on, you just go immediately shoot the dude. Like, you don't know what's going on, but your girl could probably be lying, or you know what I'm saying, or she could probably. But you mad at you go shoot him, but your girl the one who went on the date with him. I don't care if y'all set him up or not. Like, I would never agree and let my wife set nobody up just to go on a date with nobody, bro. If she going on the date somebody and try to tell me that she finna go set a boy up, I'ma break up with her. Cause first of all, you're not finna mess me up just because you choose to want to set somebody up. First of all, I'm not even agree with you to set him up. I would have told you no. It's just plain and stupid, bro. But anyway, bro, make sure y'all like, comment, hit that, turn on post notification, bro. I hope this story teach people valuable lesson to leave folks alone. Just goddamn. But to the end of the day, bro, I'm on the guy side who got killed because I hate that for him, bro. I RIP to him, bro. I feel it's bad that he died, though, bro, for some stupid crazy, bro. But anyway, like, comment, hit sub button, turn on post notifications. I love you guys. See you guys in this video, bro. Peace out, bro.
Chilling in the cut, getting high all day with a couple bad I'ma do it my way. Driven by the way that I be living, everything I got I'm giving. Why you think they can't do it like me? I'ma get high, yeah.